Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is time for Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on Friday morning. It's September 29th. My name is Joe Callahan at the Coffee Ann table. We'll say hi to Dave Richards. Good morning to you, Dave.
Hi to Dave Richards.
Hello there.
Good morning, Joe.
Former mayor of the town of Cumberland, Bill Murray, is on the Coffee Ann panel. Hi there, Bill.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Bill got the memo that it's blue striped shirt day, Dave.
Yep. We just,
Well, I got the black striped shirt on.
You have to follow. You didn't
Sorry
follow.
about
You
that.
didn't follow.
And my stripes are going horizontal instead of vertical.
Well, at least you got stripes on.
Joe, yesterday I wore the
Yes.
blue striped shirt. I
That's
could have
right.
done it today.
Missed it by a
You
day.
missed your day. You missed your day.
This segment of the Coffee Ann program is sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of
Gotta
Commerce.
check my memos.
Dave, what do you see? Speaking of that, check your emails. And what does the chamber tell you what's going on?
Well, all kinds of things are going on, Joe, because it's now time for we're out of the summertime. And so now we're into the networking pop-up. We have one coming up next week on Wednesday at 5 p.m., exactly when the nominations for Best of the Blackstone Valley end. This event begins. Next Wednesday at 5 p.m. at Bank Newport, 1 Week Robin Road in Lincoln, directly across the street from the Lincoln Mall. And boy, that's a pretty good landmark if you ask me. Most everybody knows where you are. So you can check out Bank Newport's newest branch in Lincoln. You can also bank on meeting 3 new people at this networking event. Get it? Ah ha ha. All right. So that's next Wednesday. After that, we have another chamber event coming up on October the 19th at Bryant University in Smithfield. Bold in Business Breakfast. The Women's Business Council is putting that on the 25th of October. Remember, October is Sunday, so it's not as far away as it may look. Bourbon, Bites, and Cigars from 5 to 7 at the Kirkbrae Country Club. A spirited evening of tastings, curated craft and spirits and cigars. And then we got some other things coming up in November we'll talk about in another message. The Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce has been sponsoring the discussion on Coffee Ann in the first segment on Fridays for many, many, many years. The number is 334-1000. Don't call it now. Wait till 9 o'clock when they open.
Okay, Dave, thanks. All right, before we get into the discussion, we want to pass this along because we're doing 2 high school football games. One tonight, one tomorrow.
Okay.
And Kevin Callahan, my brother, is on the play-by-play.
We think we're doing 2 high school football
Well, it
games.
depends on the weather forecast.
Yeah.
But this
The
is the way,
forecast ain't looking good.
This is the way the Kevin breaks down the games. 2 potential great games this weekend. So tonight, it's the 3-0 Lincoln Lions looking to keep their undefeated streak going.
They should knock over their press box more often.
That's
3-0 on the
should.
season.
They're
What do you
3-0.
know?
They've done a good job.
They are
got
going to take on
nice football team.
taking on the 1-2 Tolman Tigers, and that game will be played at Max Reed Field because you can't play at Parasol Field in Pawtucket, where McCoy Stadium is. So they take on the 1-2 Tolman Tigers. Brendan McGarr and Kevin have the call for you on that game tonight, and then tomorrow afternoon, Woonsocket tries to break the WOON curse. As the 2-1 Villanovans, and the only loss was the game that we covered, take on the 1-2 Central Knights out of Providence. Woonsocket relies on their quarterback, Duante Melton. He has 488 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. His big receiver is Jamari Barr, has 14 catches with 225 yards. And Chan Paguro on the ground has 6.2 yards average rushing. Melton has rushed for 3 TDs on his own. Adam Zangari and Kevin have the call on Saturday at 1 for these 2 fun high school football games in our area. So we look forward to
Very
that.
proud to do that.
We have
We get a lot of support for that, too.
Yep.
We're very happy.
We're
Thank you.
glad Bill Murray could join us.
That's good.
We're glad Bill Murray could join us today on the Coffee Ann program. Bill's very involved with the Democratic Party in the state of Rhode Island. So I wanted to get his take.
There's only one party in Cumberland. That's where he's from.
Yeah.
The take right off the bat. Surprised, happy. What are your emotions on Gabe Ammo winning the primary?
Well,
Surprised?
Or are we,
I am.
are we pronouncing it wrong? Is it Amo or Ammo?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Let's go with Gabe.
Amo, I think it is.
Okay.
I know him well because he was the Raimondo's liaison to the mayors when I was mayor, and so most of the, I say all of the mayors and administrators, very nice guy, very dedicated, hard worker.
He also worked at the White House, didn't he?
He did. He worked for Biden. In fact, I think he worked for Obama, if I remember seeing something. But he is a very nice guy. I didn't expect it. I was involved with Sandra Cano, along with Mayor Grebian and obviously Diorsa, treasurer, and a whole bunch of people. Mayor Mutter from Cumberland was involved with Cano. And we didn't see it coming. We really, we didn't. We thought her battle would be with Sabina, but then we saw Sabina falling badly over the. Everybody knows the situations, and so then it kind of gave us a little bit more pep in our step because Sandra really didn't have the ability to raise money. I guess I would put it in that direction where Amo did have money, raised money. He was on television if everybody noticed. And in talking to people, I find that that he really came across because of all the ads he had. Sandra, and this happens. If you don't have the money, you got to go out knocking on doors. And she did. I know people that, I didn't go door to door with her, but I know people that she was out every night and very dedicated.
Okay. When you talk about money, and Gabe had got a lot of it, but so did Regenberg. He had a ton of money too. What's the difference between the two of them?
You got to have a product and money.
Well, let me ask Bill.
Well,
Okay.
no,
Sorry.
that's a good question, and I think it's the person.
Okay.
That's my belief. He does not have a good reputation.
Regenberg, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he had a lot. He threw a lot of money in to kind of bring people in. But he
did that hurt him? Bringing in Bernie Sanders
I think
at
it
AOC?
did. Yes, I do. I believe it did. Talking to people. The other thing that also when it came out that his father was behind, I think it was his father behind
the PAC, yeah.
The PAC. And so he was talking, and I think that's his reputation. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. And that's where I think things hurt him.
Okay.
But he was leading for a long time. We
That's
thought
right.
he's the one where everybody's going to chase. In fact, we had conversations about, and it didn't happen, obviously, the subpoena drop out and Swinger votes to Sandra because we needed a little bit more power to try to overcome Regenberg as the
I didn't
guy.
hear an official announcement about that. Is that because I saw both Sandra and Sabina the Saturday before the election.
Yeah.
And
it didn't happen. They
no, it didn't
thought
happen.
it might happen.
No, it didn't happen, but that was
okay.
a conversation
Oh,
that had gone
I'm sorry, I
on
misunderstood.
when she was failing and everybody knew it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't about to do it. And
Is that so? Okay.
But that
well,
would've-
on Saturday she was defeated. I mean, I spoke with her in a personal conversation. I says, "You didn't get the breaks this time." She says, "No." She says, "That's how politics works. I know because I experienced Providence politics." She says, "This is how it goes. Sometimes you get the breaks and sometimes you don't. I'm good with it. I still have a job."
Yeah, no, absolutely. And but it was too late then.
Yeah,
We
Saturday before. Way
we
too
talked when the signature thing broke, which we knew was going to be a lot of damage to her.
late. Yep.
That's when there were some conversations, and
Oh, so that's really early on.
could we knew that they were both going to fight and hurt each other, meaning Sabina and Sandra,
Right.
and that's what happened. You were going after a lot of the same people,
Right.
and again the target was Regenberg because he was looking like, and he
Top
was
guy,
he was ahead on a there were not many polls there. You know, it's just
unofficial
not
polls.
no, there were not a lot, and but whatever you heard, he was ahead.
He was at top. Yep.
And I think that's where the big play was. And I mean, the Democratic Party in Cumberland endorsed Sandra. by quite a bit. I think it was 17 votes to, and I don't think Ruggenberg got 2. I think Amo only got 3 or 4. And so she started to pull together a lot of the Valley communities. But again, she didn't have the money to be on face to face on television, to have people that didn't,
On the fence,
really
or-
had to be shown who she is.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
All right. Rhode Island is notoriously a Democratic state, but are you worried that people will stay away from the voting, just thinking Gabe is going to win automatically, even though he's got a Republican challenger?
That's his challenge.
Yeah.
That's his challenge.
Get
is
people
get
out to
people
vote.
out to vote, because it's like any.
Don't take it for granted.
No, that's what happened to me when I lost the time. Is that not crying about it, but people thought I was way ahead, and we had that bad rainstorm.
So there's no need to go out and vote for
No,
it. Oh,
well,
Bill will just win.
Bill's got it, and
Yeah.
it happened to Governor McKee
Yeah.
when he lost that vote to Dave Evok. The same situation. Oh, he had it in the bag. No way this guy could beat him, and he beat him.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to be careful on, and that's what, if I was advising him, which I'm not.
Yeah.
I would say you've got to get people out and don't get
Keep your foot on the gas
don't
pedal.
don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, I think the key is going to be, with everything going on in this country, is how much noise the Republicans. I still don't think this Leonard has a chance, but you never know with all the noise going on, and all it takes is one hiccup, and all of a sudden people start looking at it. So I think you've got to be very, very careful. You got to go out and do your job, sell who you are, which I think he can. He's a very smooth guy and likable guy, and I think he can get out and really, but he has to get out. He can't just take it for granted.
I just remember they said the Republicans in Massachusetts called it the Massachusetts Miracle when Scott Brown defeated, I think it was the Attorney General at the time, I can't remember her name. He kept campaigning in Massachusetts, and she went to Washington to do whatever she was doing.
Yeah.
And came back and lost.
Oh, yeah,
and Scott
yeah.
Brown won that election.
You got to be very careful.
You're right. Okay. A little closer to things going on in the Blackstone Valley. They were thinking of turning the Apex building in Pawtucket into a pickleball court, and I
Yeah.
guess the Pawtucket City Council said, "Oh, what a stupid idea."
Yeah.
Are you happy they said that they pushed that off? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
There's plans for that, and
For the Apex building,
yeah, I mean,
can you tell us what they are?
I don't. I just know that there's plans for it.
All right.
I mean,
And
that's
pickleball
why.
was not in the cards.
What?
Pickleball was not in
No,
the cards.
You know what?
Pickleball's a
I
fad,
grew
you
up.
Right.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
that.
I grew up. In fact, I
You don't
was.
spend hundreds of millions on a fad.
Well, so I grew up with racquetball.
Yeah.
Maybe you were a little too young at that time.
I played it a couple times.
Yeah,
back in the
well,
80s.
I actually, my business, I was in the wood business. We sold the panels that went on racquetball courts,
Yeah. All right.
and we got all excited because when it same thing as pickleball, it went like bananas. And,
Right away, yeah.
And we my company made a lot of money on selling that. The wall panels.
Mm-hmm.
It's a high density wall, obviously with
Yeah.
the pounding, and that thing took off and ask anybody like forecourt, go down to forecourt,
Oh yeah.
Right.
and they put 4 or 5.
Ask Dan McKee.
Racquetball courts.
Dan McKee, exactly. I thought, yes, you're absolutely right, and it fell on its face eventually. And I think for them to earmark that, you have plenty of places to put this pickleball.
Oh,
I
sure.
believe in it. I mean, everybody I talked to, I took my former recreation director to task because back in I want to say 2016, 2017, when I was mayor, I said to him, somebody's been talking to me about this game, this
new
pickleball
new sport, yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, well if we don't want to cut down one because you have to take one of your tennis courts
Yes,
away.
cut it
And
down. Yeah.
so he talked me out of it.
All right.
And shame on me for letting him do it, but he did. And he laughs now at it. I said, now look at it,
Yeah.
And then we do have one in Cumberland near the senior center. They
Okay.
did put one. It's not a good one, but it's
But it's
enough.
there, right?
But it's a big sport now. Everybody loves it.
Yep.
But how long?
But give it a year or two.
That's right.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240. Dave, it's time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
334-1000 is the telephone number to call at 9 o'clock this morning when they start answering the phones. Down there in Lincoln at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, find out how Chamber membership can work for you. For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Community Care Alliance invites you to the return of an in-person shelter walk on Saturday, September 30th to raise critical funds for homelessness and homelessness prevention. Registration for the walk begins at 10 in the morning at Community Care Alliance's Nolan Building. That's at 800 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, in the parking lot, with the walk beginning at 10:30. For more information about the walk, visit this website, communitycareri.org.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
It's Coffee In here on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. Joe Callahan here, along with Dave Richards and the former mayor of the town of Cumberland, Bill Murray.
It's
And
always interesting to talk to Bill.
it
He
is.
sees things from a different side of the fence.
But you must have been happy
Would
with
you, would you tell my wife that, please? 'Cause she doesn't, that would help me out.
Bill, you must have been proud of the Cumberland police. They had the murder about a week or so ago, and down on Front Street. But within a day, we've got a suspect in custody.
You don't know how I've always you've heard me many times on this station.
But you like the police, yeah.
That we were so proud for. I mean, the 4 years that I was, we just have. It's such a great operation.
He was the chief when you were the mayor. Was he
who?
not? Benson?
No,
he wasn't.
that was Damaris, who was also very good.
Yeah.
But the nice thing was the young man who was the head of detectives now is Captain Sweet. And I promoted him, not because I promoted him, don't get me wrong, but he's a great guy. And I'll tell a little, I got hacked. I just saw him maybe a month ago. My wife and I got hacked badly on our accounts.
Oh, dear.
And thank God for Navigant. Thank God they saved my,
money,
I'm talking a lot of money.
Yeah, okay.
And I went to Peter Sweet, or Captain Sweet.
Yeah.
And you can't, but it wasn't just because of me. He's like that all the time. So under his direction, that did not surprise me to see that happen so quickly. He's a very positive guy. He's a hard worker. But the whole force is like that.
Yeah.
And I have to say this, I don't know him that well. I've talked to him a couple of times. In fact, that just reminded me we were supposed to get together and have a coffee.
With the police chief?
But,
Okay.
Benson.
Yeah.
They love him.
They do? Good.
They talking to a couple of them, because I will run into others, and he's brought a different kind of a up. Damaris was fantastic. Damaris was one of your old time police officials, and but Benson has now brought more of a community, arm around the shoulder, shake hands, that type of deal, and but the most important thing is the crew loves him. I mean, I've talked to 8 or 9 people that I know very well. So they were very lucky. Your mother did a terrific job in hiring him, because there was some controversy on that hiring. So starting at the top, Benson and then Sweet, is no surprise what happened.
All right, that's fantastic.
That is nice.
All right, on the national scene, and we got a note that was written in 766-1240. Just going back to the Republicans had the debate a couple of nights ago, and one of them on stage brought up this point, and it says, "Why is Joe Biden? Well, what is Joe Biden doing on the United Auto Workers picket line when he should be at the southern border addressing the incredible problem with the migrant situation?" Would you agree with that, or why is Joe Biden on the picket line?
Well, why is Joe Biden in a lot of places?
I don't know.
No, I'm being serious about it because he's got so many problems. That border is a disaster. Everybody wants to turn away from it, including some Republicans. And
I think you're missing something. If I,
Yeah.
including many Democrats are starting to question the policies now.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
I mean,
Yeah.
and so he's losing support from Democrats. Now, you can
No.
always expect that Republicans will be the adversary
yeah.
if you're a Democrat.
Right.
You can expect that. It's part of the game in the two-party system. But gee whiz, Bill, the number of Democrats that I'm saying to, this guy has really been ineffective in this thing, and it's going to really hurt us in the White House race next time around.
Yeah.
Because, you take somebody like Mr. Trump, who refuses to go away.
Yep.
It's a free country. He doesn't have to go away if he doesn't want to.
Right.
And he's got his baggage. He's got his problems. Some of it's political, and some of it's because he's nasty. And he's ticked off the wrong people, and like that. All right, some of it's his personality. I think that he lost the White House in that race because of his personality. Okay, fine.
No question.
But you are who you are, but I'm just saying that while you might objectively look at a possibility of Mr. Trump becoming president of the United States again and say probably a bad idea, and you might do this logically, it's completely plausible if the Democratic administration continues to let the border situation be what it is. If you see the numbers, I mean, they've even lost the television networks, which used to mean something. I don't know what it means today, but you could
they
see.
don't cover it. Fox is the only one that really
If you
covers
look
it.
at it, well, Fox is going to lean Republican against the
Yeah,
Democratic administration because they've chosen that editorial stance.
Right.
But when you lost CBS, CBS is liberal as the day is long, and they're coming up and they're saying 8,400 illegal people crossed the border without authorization just last weekend and 2 days into Eagle Pass, Texas.
Absolutely. But it's
And
not,
so, I mean, when they're harping on it, that the administration has a leak in the boat of titanic proportions.
and it's just not in my opinion, it's not just the border. It's many other factors.
Well,
And
other
so
factors you can
that's
debate.
why Biden is slipping and continually slipping. Trump,
but do the
I'm right with-
Democrats think that Kamala's going to save his
Well,
bacon?
They don't know what to do. That's my opinion.
Because she
They
won't
don't
sell 'em
know.
out.
She's and she can't.
So she's going to be in the same Dutch that he is.
Absolutely, and but he's struggling so much. I mean, his poll numbers now. You talk about some of these other media outlets, CBS and NBC, the whole bit. They're now at least getting involved because there's so many things going on in a negative fashion that they don't know what to do. In my opinion, I have a granddaughter, actually a niece who teaches in New York,
Right.
but in a private school.
Right.
And the situation in the schools in New York, just because of these illegals in
All the
there,
migrants,
is
yeah.
it's. She was her father was telling me the other day, it's sickening. It really is sickening, and you can't believe. Look at what Texas has gone through, and you can't argue. Well, he's shipped he had to.
Right.
They go through this
yeah.
every day. New York goes through it in the. It's a sanctuary
He's
city.
responsible to Texans. He's
Yeah,
not responsible to the rest of the
That's
country.
right. Exactly.
And so I have no points off for the Texas governor doing what he thinks he has to do for Texans.
yeah, right.
I mean, that's what he was elected for. He took that oath of office.
And he hasn't been supported. hears them and support it. So, I
Well,
mean, that's,
there
there
you
you
have
have it right there.
But it's a serious situation that people haven't been taking that lightly. And they used to poke fun at Trump for the way that he was doing, with the border wall and all. At least it was symbolic.
No.
Okay, there's the line in the sand. You're not going to cross it. Next, we'll do something else. But then they didn't want to build the line in the sand.
He played tough. But you go back to the original question about the picket line. So so they want a 4-day week,
Yeah.
and they
32
want
hours.
a lot of they want a
32 hours a
40%
week.
increase in
And a
their-
40% increase,
and
right.
40% increase.
And a pension.
And right, and so what do you think that's going to do to the economy when that all comes down? And
Car
let me
companies
tell you,
don't
these
care.
electric cars
Yeah.
are killing the country. I've argued this with the governor, and not that Bill Murray is but I look at it. How many of us can pay $60,000 for a car, even if you get a couple of rebates?
They don't
So
care.
it gets down to 52,000.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
what
know,
a deal.
but what about all these other people? How about if you and I want to get in a car and go to Maine, and you can't find a place to
Charge your car.
charge your car?
Right.
We're not ready for it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
in a few years that you can't be ready. I mean, down the road, but we're jumping into it too quickly. And these car people are losing their shirts on these electric cars, and these people are going to lose their job. So why would Biden stick his neck out
Yeah.
to get on the
Well,
picket line?
because he started that strike in the
Oh,
first
absolutely,
place.
absolutely.
His flippant comment started the whole thing and got everybody's ire up.
Yep.
Because 2 weeks beforehand, before the strike, someone asked him, "What do you think about the UAW going on strike?" Oh, that'll never happen.
Yeah. No.
And then that's it. And the president comes out. I didn't even know they had labor unrest. The president put that strike up on the radar screen of the average American
Yeah.
with that comment. And now he's got to try to mend fences. Okay, so he's mending fences. Now, a Republican candidate for president could easily come up and say, well, he's obviously wishy-washy and weak. Because, he says one thing and then he does another. And like that. So, but that's going to happen in a campaign. I don't agree with it because every decision that's made, if you're a decision maker in your career,
Yeah.
you know that you make decisions based on what you know at that moment. You make a mistake because you're human, and if you try to correct things, then it makes you look wishy-washy.
Oh, yeah.
So you just can't, you can't
can't
win that.
win. You can't win with it.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be wishy-washy if they're competent.
So,
The other thing, one more thing on electric cars, because I know someone that who has one.
You have to change all the batteries every 5 years.
Well, there's that, but
And
you're
the
going to
tires?
you got to change the tires, all four at the same time.
and you can't put a fire out.
About
And you
every
can't put
year.
a fire out
About
because
every year.
the weight of the car is so heavy that the tires wear out evenly all at once. Ugh,
It's
it's crazy.
I thought.
Well, that's
I
also
thought
because
one
they
of-
have 4 motors on 4 wheels.
I love the thing when the Secretary of Energy went on a tour.
Yeah.
Did you read about that? Mm-hmm. And she was touring the electric car,
All right.
and her staff blocked a charging station so when she got to Ohio, she could use the charging station. And the people that couldn't get in to charge raised holy hell.
All right.
I said, that's a good one.
All right. Rich Lane has joined us at the coffee table. Good morning to you, Rich.
Good morning, morning.
The rooster is
Good
back.
to see you, yeah.
Nice to see you. We're going to get to Rich in just a minute. It's time for a break, and we're going to look at the forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Rain is 70% likely today with thunderstorms possible after 5 p.m. Cloudy skies all day, high of 63, but really not heavy rain unless there's a thunderstorm, only a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain all day. Tonight, rain is 90% likely and possibly a thunderstorm before 2 a.m. Patchy fog, overnight low of 54 degrees. 3/4 of an inch of rain is possible overnight. Saturday's weather, a 50% chance of more showers up until about 1 p.m. Otherwise cloudy with a high of 63. A quarter to a half an inch of more rain is possible Saturday. Sunday, sunshine and 71. Monday, sunshine and 71. Tuesday, sunny and 77. Wednesday, sunny and 78. And Thursday, mostly sunny and 73.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street. Clouds, little light rain, and 54 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at Unbound.org.
What does it mean that our customers are our owners?
It means that we don't have shareholders like a bank. We have owners, like you. And though we don't have traditional shareholders, we do share. We share values, expectations, and yes, profits, in the form of better rates, lower fees, and dividends. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
Hi, everybody. This is Linda Tebow for Aging Well in Woonsocket, inviting you all to a fun and special way to help us with our work at the Gaston Ayard Junior Senior Center. Join us for dinner and laughter as the famous Charlie Hall presents his hilarious look at aging well called Aging Disgracefully. What's more, Aging Disgracefully is at 4:30 in the afternoon on a Friday, October 20th. No nighttime driving. Seating at the Senior Center Hall on Social Street is limited, so get your tickets today. Thanks to the generous financial support of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island, the tickets are only $30 for an afternoon of salad, dynamites, dessert, friends, and laughter you will never forget. Aging Disgracefully supports the health and wellness programs of Aging Well, Inc.
You have the power. Nominate your favorites today at bestoftheblackstonevalley.com.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, former mayor of the town of Cumberland, Bill Murray, and Rich Lane is joining us. He joins us every Friday to tell us what's going on at Post 85, American Legion
And by the
Post.
way, greetings from a fellow American Legion member out in Brainerd, Minnesota, Mark Persons. Is very impressed with your work on our program.
Well, Mark, thank you. If Mark's listening out there, I appreciate it. You know,
That's great.
it's only because these guys allow me to come in and shoot my mouth off a little bit every Friday, so I'm really appreciative of that too. Because it has helped the Post, I will say, for me to be able to come in here on Friday. I mean, we have seen our membership go up. We have seen civilians come in and people still ride by saying we didn't know it was open to the public. We
right.
still got that big sign out there that flashes open to the public.
Sure.
But, and so we have seen a lot of new people come in, and I attribute a lot of that to being able to come in here on a Friday, and I thank you guys when we're off the air, and I thank you on the air for allowing us to do this, because part of the mission of the American Legion is community, to bring
Outreach,
ourselves out to the community, and to help the community. So. The community is helping us, we're helping them, and it's been a real good relationship. So real happy about that. But what's going on? Well, like everybody else, the season is coming to an end where everybody starts to pull everything in. But we got a great weekend coming up this weekend. Tomorrow evening we have a band called Tucker's Creek. That's our last band of the season, and I guess the weather's supposed to clear tomorrow
It's
afternoon.
supposed to clear tomorrow
Yep.
afternoon. Yes, it is.
So
Finally.
Plus, remember, you got the
crossed, right?
pavilion.
Yep, and we got the pavilion, so come on up and listen to a great Southern rock band. I mean, these guys really kick out some real good Southern rock. Tucker's Creek, they're going to be underneath our pavilion from 7 to 11 tomorrow evening. And also tomorrow evening, we are going to conduct the Sons of the American Legion raffle that we have going up there. And what we have basically is we've got 28 different prizes that range anything from lottery tickets to Home Depot, Lowe's gift cards, or whatever people had donated. And we got these 28 items that are going to be raffled off all tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. So we got the tickets are only $5 a piece. And if you, let's say, with the 28, let's say you're the second number picked or the second person picked, well, your ticket is going to go right back into the box to be able
People
to win
like
again.
that. They like that.
Yeah. It's a great way of doing something. So come on down. I know we have tickets left for that. You know, there's been a lot of them sold, but if you want to, you can drop by the post today or tomorrow if you ain't coming for the band. But we'll have them on sale during the band, and when the band takes their first break, then we're going to draw. We're going to start the raffle draw. So, like I said, tomorrow's going to be a real good day. So come on out and listen to some good music and buy a raffle ticket.
There you go.
Sunday, we're going to have our annual golf ball drop.
Rescheduled.
Rescheduled. Yes, it was rescheduled. I am not privy as to why it was rescheduled, but it might have something to do with sales of golf balls. But
All right.
But anyhow, you know, the golf balls are only $10 each, and basically what happens is that we got a big scissor lift vehicle that rises itself up in the air, and we're selling 200 golf balls at $10 a piece. So what happens is that the three prizes for the winners of the golf ball drop are 500, 300, and 200.
Closest to the hole.
Closest to, we got the hole made so only one golf ball can fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're number 65, and number 65 lands in the hole once we drop the golf balls from that scissor lift. Well, if 65 lands in the hole, you're going to win $500.
All right.
And then if one lands right on top of 65, well, that number will win the 300, and the third will win the 200.
Nice.
So, like I say, come on down, pick up a golf ball. We're going to do that on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And then if that ain't enough to entertain you, come on downstairs, have a beverage, and take part in the meat raffle.
All right.
So that's pretty much what's going on over the weekend. And like I said, we got some things going on in October. One of them is the October the 28th, where we're going to do the trunk or treat. I mentioned that last week, and as details come out for that, I'll announce it again and again. But that is, you know, with all the interest people have now with, you know, oh, I don't want my kid walking the streets
They want
for
safe
Halloween.
trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, we get this trunk or treat going up there, and we got candy, we got people dressed up, we got you know, different activities for the kids that are now being put together. That's the auxiliary that's doing that. And I know Nikki is down in Florida right now. She's the president of the auxiliary, but Nikki does a fantastic job with all her ladies with the auxiliary, and they're going to put together a real great program on October 28th. And I want to say, I haven't got it in front of me, but I think it's 4 to 7 we're doing that. So and there's going to be some hot dogs and hamburgers available for the kiddies and the adults that are there, but it'll be a great night. So as we get more information for that, I'll pass it on, but that's pretty much everything that's going on right now.
All right there, Rich. Very good. We have a note that was called in, 766-1240. Just says, how about this one? Up in Massachusetts, the woman that pled guilty that she pulled a hoax on a bomb threat at Boston Children's Hospital. Why are people so deranged? What would drive her to do something so incredibly harmful? I don't know if you've heard the story, but a woman from Westfield, Massachusetts, is guilty of charges related to a hoax bomb threat against Boston Children's Hospital. Catherine Levy was accused of calling it a bomb threat into the hospital, which had been facing threats because of services it was providing to gender diverse and transgender children. The investigation determined that the hoax threat in August of last year was called in from a cell phone linked to Levy and came from a cell tower near her home. She faces a maximum of 15 years in prison when she is sentenced in March. So the answer is, why are people so deranged? I don't know. And what would drive her to do something so incredibly harmful? I don't know.
Well, she's deranged.
No answers to those
Right?
questions.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
we got that word right at least. Now,
And how many are out there?
More than one.
More than you want to believe.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
now you take a cell phone linked to you to do it. That shows you how much more you're deranged, because you're not even a normal person with a thought process.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, I wouldn't use if I was going to do something that's stupid, I certainly wouldn't use my own cell phone.
Yes.
Yeah, but those people are stupid that are doing it.
There you go.
I don't know if
There
she
you go.
thinks, well, there wasn't really a bomb, so there was no real harm.
Yeah,
So nothing really
yeah.
happened. So.
Yeah, another nut job in the world.
The saving
God.
grace of society is that criminals are frequently stupid.
Well, you know
Otherwise, it'd
something.
be
though?
so much more difficult to get them.
Well, I want to tell you something, right? And I understand what you're saying, Dave, but having it work in corrections the many years I did, one thing I would and look, some of the inmates that I had watched at the facility I was at were really out there. But I'm going to tell you,
Some,
and we always said it, the corrections officers always say it, they ain't stupid.
yeah.
They're here 24/7. We're here 8 hours a day. This is their home.
They're con
And-
men. They're con men.
Oh God, they are. They are. You know, so they know how to pull the wool over you. So you're always going to be on your toes.
I'd always remember, and maybe this was just Hollywood, but the movie Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And the warden is looking at the rap sheet of Frank, whatever his name was, that Clint Eastwood was portraying, and down there under intelligence it said superior.
There you go. You got to be
Okay.
careful
Look
sometimes.
out for
Well,
those.
do you remember when Marvin Barnes, the Providence College, held up a bus?
Yes, with his PC jacket on.
No, he had Central, where he went to high school. His Central jacket, and he could. How did you know it was me? Well, he's only 6'9",
Yeah.
and he has his Central jacket on. Oh my God, I'll never forget that.
That's right.
And I personally met him one time, and he was not the brightest bulb. And
It's so funny you say that. My English teacher in 9th grade at Cumberland High was in college at PC with Marvin Barnes. He
Was
said
he?
the exact same thing
Did he?
because he had a couple of classes with him.
Yeah.
Not the brightest bulb going.
No.
All right.
I heard
And speaking of Providence College, the AMP has a new roof. So Bill goes to a lot of PC Ben's basketball games. It's not going to rain on you this year, Bill. Let's keep those.
That was an
fingers crossed.
embarrassment.
Wasn't that
That was an
embarrassing?
embarrassment.
National
and,
TV. It's raining inside the Civic Center.
I saw the newscast last night, and I had a laugh. The governor was there and everything, and they're all excited about this new roof. You should be excited about this new roof. Here's this place that's on national television.
Yeah.
And,
They had to stop the
and
game.
they had to stop the game
off the
because it was
towels.
leaking, you know.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to another theory of how you save money, and instead of putting it in and keeping a place maintained,
Yeah.
now they're spending
$19 million.
19 million, is it?
For the new roof.
And
Yeah.
but if you
And
you
the-
can look
and the,
at it,
the state taxpayers paid for that
that's
roof.
right.
Yes, they did.
It's not Amica. It's not the folks in Providence.
Nope. Nope.
I don't know if you heard about this, Bill, but Joseph Malacone,
Yep.
sound
Oh.
familiar?
No, I
spit.
certainly do.
He's a little behind on his payments.
As the people of Marquette.
That's right. They remember him well.
Yep.
He's about 12. Where is he? He's only paid $51,000 of the $51,000 of the $12 million he owes.
Take him 800
Years.
years to.
Now he's 80,
Yeah. You know.
and he's about $1,200 behind. And the judge has said, "Okay, pick up the pace." Will he? I don't
Well,
know. Does he have the money?
Well, they say it's a. When I was listening to the news, they said it's not about collecting the money, more that he knows that he did wrong. I said,
Oh, yeah.
Well, what, I mean, you'll never collect that money.
No, never. All right.
We knew that back in the 90s when they gave him
yeah.
that sentence.
Yeah, so he'll never live long enough to pay it off.
Right. Yeah, a crook steals 12 million.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think it was 10.
Interesting.
That he actually took out of Heritage. I think it was 10 million he took out of Heritage. So a crook could steal that kind of money. But if you now go to prison, you serve your time, you're not a crook anymore, how are you going to come up with the money?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Making minimum wage at McDonald's isn't going to work.
No,
cut
no.
it.
Right.
Well, it's a long time. You're gonna, $1.50 a day.
Yeah, that's right. I'll give you $100 a month.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So you're close with former mayor of Central Falls, James Diasa. He's now the Rhode Island General Treasurer.
Yep.
He's looking into the state's relationship with Washington Trust Bank.
Oh,
Washington Trust has just
that's
agreed
political. You
to
know
pay
that.
a $9 million settlement.
Well, there's $12 million. No.
$190 million
in
of
the
state money in
the
Washington Trust invested.
Washington Trust. I don't know. I have a mixed feeling about it. Not because of Diasa, but I just don't know. Cumberland, we had Washington Trust handle our pensions and everything, and I always found them to be a very straightforward, very good bank to deal with, you
Yeah.
know, and
But somebody made a case on him.
they
Yeah.
did, and that's the problem with what's going on.
Even
And,
if it's circumstantial, if they settle, everyone's going to believe they did it on purpose.
Absolutely.
Even though they deny any wrongdoing. in
Absolutely.
their-
Well, that's the
in this
problem with
discrimination
settling,
that they
isn't
are-
it? Huh?
Yes, they just say, "Oh, well, then you're guilty."
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like paying ransom.
Right.
You know,
It never
you
stops.
pay ransom is just going to keep going and keep going. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, we did get a note that was called in. It's from the Rich Elaine fan club. So here we go, Rich.
Oh, I know who this is.
Caller likes listening to Coffee Am when Rich Elaine is on. He is a class act and a very knowledgeable person. This is from the Montreal Canadiens. As
See,
he's
now-
wearing his Bruins shirt.
So I know he's listening, but you know, see that now you said I'm very bright. Well, I appreciate that, but I mean, you're a Montreal Canadian fan, so I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm not wearing this shirt today for nothing, baby. Hockey's coming back.
Oh yeah.
Bruins season. All right, we got to take a break on the Coffee Am program. So, Dave, you want to give a quick message here for the Valley Breeze newspaper?
I do. I hold in my hand the Cumberland and Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze. Just came out to the station yesterday. Some great news stories in here, in addition to the wonderful news and information and community events and, of course, ads from your local people around here. Valley Falls residents are assured that a blighted home will be demolished. Ethan Shorey has a story from Cumberland there, and as a matter of fact, it's being blamed for the rat problem in Cumberland, which
on
is
the
interesting
rise,
because I didn't know there was a rat problem in Cumberland.
There's a lot of rats.
We mean physical rats.
Oh,
animal.
okay. All right.
Sophia Barr over in Lincoln is writing about the Envision Lincoln workshop, which sees a large turnout there. And there's a nice story from Sophia on 50 years of the forecourt.
Has the same family owned forecourt for
yes.
50 years?
Yeah,
The
Moran.
Morin family,
Yeah.
Wow.
the two boys, David and oh God,
Right.
And the other guy.
yeah, and the other guy.
Well, hold on.
Excuse me for the. It'll come to me in 5 minutes.
Don't worry about it. Sophia didn't mention. No, David Morin.
David
And
is
his
the
brother.
And his father-in-law,
brothers. His brothers in with them. They do a nice job. I've been a member there for years and years.
All right, and I now hold the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition up in my hand over here. And residents are weighing in on the bond question in North Smithfield. Pelletier brings the news on that. I still admire how North Smithfield is handling that thing with the police station. There's always going to be controversy when there's that much money going on and that many opinions and everything. But I think that they're trying to take it slow and listen to everybody, and that's the way it's looking to me out here anyway. Read all the story in Bella's story in the Valley Breeze. Of course, Woonsocket resident calls for safety measures after the death of a friend. We heard about that. We had, everybody called her Susie Christmas, Suzanne McBride, who was killed in a crosswalk on Main Street in Woonsocket by a car. And she was just going to the city hall to pay her water bill when that happened, and she'd done it many, many times.
People
But
don't-
they're very concerned.
People won't stop.
And well, you know, there's some. I've heard some talk back and forth on that. They say when you put too many red lights and stoplights in the city, then people just get impatient and they push it when they finally get through the red lights and like that. Well, that's not an excuse, but that's what people are saying, and it means that you have to do something else.
You also got a lot of idiots out there that don't know how to drive and don't care. And
That's Bill Murray's opinion right there.
It is.
So
and I'll stick with it.
there you go.
I'm with you, Bill.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And Bella Pelletier also writes about the former North Smithfield Flea Market that's going to be on the market soon. It's funny, I just drove by that not so long ago. It's that white building
On 146.
on the right-hand side on 146. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The one you always get a good chance to look at
When you're stuck in traffic.
because it's
Yeah, yeah.
you're not going anywhere.
There you go.
Just look out the right window, and there it is.
When you can't move.
Anyway, it used to be a flea market, I remember. It's been
Yeah.
shut down for some time. The family actually purchased a mill building here in Woonsocket and is doing well with their antiques there. They're going to put that up for sale. So if you're interested, what do you know? It's called 1260 Eddie Dowling Highway, and you can read all about it in this week's Valley Breeze. Joe?
Thank you very much, Dave. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240, and we'll be getting to one when we come back.
Ah, what a crown jewel of a day in the kingdom, my queen. Our young subjects shall delight in the attractions at King Richard's Fair in Carver.
You mean the kids?
With knights jousting on horseback, exotic animals, and entertainers of every variety. I declare King Richard's Fair is royal fun for all of us.
Plus acres of food, drink, rides, and games abound.
Not bad, hon.
King Richard's Fair runs weekends September 2nd through October 22nd. Tickets at kingricharsfair.net.
Hi, this is Yvette Houle. Holy Trinity Parish Christmas Bazaar and Craft Fair is Saturday, November 4th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Parish Hall, 1371 Park Avenue, which is handicap accessible. Come browse the many gifts, crafts, and much more. There will be gift certificate raffle, split the pot, theme baskets, baked goods, and special raffles. Visit Santa, give him your wish list, and take photos with the children. There will also be a children's craft area to keep the children busy while the parents shop. Kitchen will be open for lunch and will include the popular dynamites, meatball sandwiches, hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, onion rings, and Venus de Milo soup. For further information, contact me, Yvette Houle, at 766-5663.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, here we are on Coffee Inn. This is Joe Callahan, along with Dave Richards, former mayor of the town of Cumberland. Bill Murray is here. Richard Lane from Post 85 is here. Note been called in 766-1240. A very disappointing season to the Boston Red Sox is mercilessly coming to an end this weekend.
Mercifully, I think is
Mercifully,
what
there we
they
go.
meant to say.
All right,
Mercifully.
so, yeah. Last place 2 years in a row.
They're not in the playoffs?
No, they missed it by this much, Bill.
Oh,
this year.
well, I can't brag
They
because
could have been spoiler for the Orioles yesterday.
my Yankees,
give it to them.
But my Yankees
Yeah,
did
they're
the same thing.
Fourth place.
Did the same thing.
Did you see all the empty seats at Yankee Stadium for their home, their last game?
Well, especially
last
if you,
home game.
Especially if you pay
wow.
$2,000 a seat.
Well, I guess that makes sense, yeah. All right. Story here out of the city of Woonsocket. You know, I guess it just doesn't matter if it's a man and a woman couple or a man and a man couple or a woman and a woman couple. When you get into arguments with each other, you can't go out and set their car on fire. That's a bad thing. A 35-year-old man is facing arson and other charges. NBC 10 is reporting Scott Douglas got into a physical altercation with his boyfriend. So he left the apartment and allegedly lit that man's car on fire. It was on Front Street.
Yeah.
Charges include domestic arson, domestic simple assault, and domestic disorderly conduct.
I would think so.
Yeah, that's a little bit of everything.
Paybacks are hell, aren't they?
Was he mad?
He was upset about something. I don't know what.
He was a little
irked. He was a little irked. So
yeah, here you go.
Hey Joe,
So,
can I plug a buddy of mine?
Sure.
Real quick. This guy is a prior service Marine. I don't know how many people. I think there's a lot of people out there that like old fashioned country music. Mm-hmm. Well, this friend of mine, that's a prior service Marine from down in the Virginia area, Tony Jackson, has got a brand new album that's coming out today. It's his second album, and he has appeared on the Grand Ole Opry stage 11 times.
Wow!
So he's no joke. So
He's a talent.
he's an unbelievable talent. So if you look, just Google search Tony Jackson out there if you want to hear some real good country music. As a matter of fact, he when he first appeared, his first time on the Grand Ole Opry stage, he did George Jones's iconic song "Grand Tour," and he actually got a standing ovation for the first time on the Grand Ole Opry stage. So. Like I said, he's coming out with his brand new album today. So just Google search Tony Jackson, take a listen to him. And if you want to hear some good old-fashioned classic country music, that's the man to listen to. He's up and coming, and I wish him well. I know he's not listening because he's down there in Virginia, but,
You never know.
You never know. You never know,
All right.
One thing, excuse me, Joe, one thing I did want to mention, Nathan Angels is tonight at the Lusitania Club starting at 7 o'clock. You can get tickets at the door. These are for these young kids that have cancer, and they've been doing it. The girl who was my clerk, head of all administration in Cumberland, has run it for, I want to say now, over 10 years. It's a great fundraiser. Every nickel goes to these kids that are fighting cancer, or families that are fighting cancer, and that's tonight at the Lusitania Club in Cumberland. So I just thought of it when you were mentioning a couple of things.
Bill, those are good. And something, that's a great organization, and I've been lucky enough in the last 20 years to have an association with the Cam Neely Foundation for Cancer Care. And isn't it nice that, with all the things out there that you see people like scamming money for and everything. Isn't it nice to be related to like organizations that you know? And like, I mean, I know from my relationship with the Neely Foundation where the money goes.
Yeah. Well,
And isn't it great?
They're very dedicated, and you know the nice thing about it, many of the restaurants in Cumberland will supply the food
Yep.
as a donation. So their overhead really is, you know, whatever money they're spending for people to come in and buy a ticket, and then they have raffles and everything. Is and what they do for I've been to almost every one of them, and normally they'll tell the story about this young person, and it's heartbreaking to hear it. And you know, I mean, they dealt a bad hand.
Yeah.
And the families, it's usually the families that are struggling. And Nathan Angels, if you look it up, they do a great job.
By the way, you hear about scams. Did you hear the story I was reading this morning about the scams?
A panhandling scam.
Now, the way we're getting it is that organized crime, a bunch of Romanian is how they were identified to us.
An organized group from Romania.
Right. Is actually pushing panhandlers off the best places and putting their own people there with a sign and a rather pathetic-looking child there saying the kid's got cancer or the kid's died and we got to bury it.
Photos of the sick child.
Right.
There, yeah.
So and right, but this is not money going to where you think it's going.
It goes right in their pocket.
and that there's homeless people that are being pushed aside that are out there panhandling, and now they can't go there anymore because the crooks are there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crooks, as I said earlier, when my wife and I got hacked on our personal accounts. You can't believe, you really cannot believe how shady and how underhanded, quick they are.
Yeah.
And even it was funny when I went to the police, I had the number that my wife had called, and she's usually pretty good about it, you know, about being careful.
Yeah.
And he called, the guy answered.
Oh, did he? All right.
And then when he realized that, he didn't say he was the police, but then he realized something was fishy, he hung up on them.
Yeah.
And he said, they traced it to Florida, but that's all. He
That's
said, you can't get these people. So once you make that error, you were dead in the water.
Yep.
And fortunately, we were able to. And as I said, and I know they're a big sponsor here, Navigant couldn't ask for better people for how they jumped on it right immediately and blocked it and saved us from.
Great.
Yeah, they're amazing over there.
Yep, they are.
Yeah, I use them for my business accounts too, and I don't mind bragging on them just for a moment. We opened up a new account for a business venture, and put some money from the general fund in there, and then we wrote a check on it, and they got back to me and said, you know, we're really got to know whether or not you were doing that of your own free will and accord.
They're very efficient.
They just, hey, it's a new account, and there's a big check here. What's going on?
Yeah, but don't say too much. Tim Draper gets a big head.
He came in with a big head.
We talked about earlier about the woman in Boston with the fake bomb hoax and you say, you know, there's deranged people out there. Some of this out of Washington. There's a suspect who broke into the Border Patrol office in Whatcom County, Washington, because he was preparing for the zombie apocalypse. He thought it was really taking place. Court documents show that on August 28th, a Border Patrol agent at the port of entry near Leiden, Washington, responded to an alarm and found Austin Geiger of Oregon in the office wearing a Customs and Border Protection jacket and body armor. He also had a gun, ammunition, and a radio. Geiger said he believed he was in a zombie apocalypse. It was taking place right now. He has multiple felony convictions, by the way, in Oregon. That doesn't surprise you. Right now, he's being held in custody until his trial. They don't say when he is, and doesn't say if he'll be mentally evaluated.
He'll be out in 2 days.
They'll put him in a mental institution in 2 days.
I hope so.
Did you guys cover this during?
Sure.
Did you guys cover this during the week at all? I just didn't know that there was a big drug bust in Bellingham. Did you see that? Oh yeah,
no.
yeah, the fentanyl, cocaine, ammunition
At a house?
guns. Yeah, at a house.
Wow.
And from what I'm being told, It's very, very close location to where a ice cream parlor is on Pulaski Boulevard.
All right, yeah.
So
I
they
know where that
didn't
is.
know whether
did hear
there
about
was a
it. Okay.
cover up
That was a
there.
couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Well, I just saw it on the news
Yeah.
like maybe about 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay.
Look
Yeah.
at the cover up in New York with the baby that died.
In the
And it
daycare
was a
center.
daycare center, and they were in the back room with the fentanyl,
God.
doing whatever they had to. That's awful.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
said the residue of the
Well,
fentanyl
what
got to
is
the
it,
carpet where the kids are
70,000
sleeping.
70,000 people have died with this fentanyl, more than a couple of wars.
Yeah,
My God.
It's awful.
it's out of control.
And we talked about the border. There's another good example
Mm-hmm.
of this wide open border and what's
Going on?
going on. Yep.
All right, we've run out of time. We thank you for listening, as always, to the Coffee and program. So, Richard Lane, thanks for coming in, as always.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and former mayor of the town of Cumberland, Bill Murray.
Always a pleasure. Thank
Always
you
enjoy
for the
having Bill Murray here.
invitation.
Absolutely. And Dave Richards, thanks for coming on by.
It's sometimes like bailing out the Titanic with a coffee can. But thank God we have dedicated professionals who make the attempt. Thank God for all of them. Gentlemen, great spending some time with you this morning, and I'll see everybody else later.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great weekend, and stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remembers at 9:30 this morning on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
Rhode Island General Treasurer James D'Ossa said yesterday the state of Rhode Island is reviewing